You know what it is. I'm Parlay Hunter.
And you know it's DRE to the GR double EN in the building. The life of the D to the green, man.
What it do? Man,
You
we just
know.
had that Super Bowl. Oh, man, I hate to say it, but I was right. Actually, I love to say it. I was right. I was right. It feels good to say that. And now the NFL season is over. I get to end it on a high note. Man, but what a Super Bowl it was, man. It was a great performance. I mean, at the end, the ending was, it is what it is. At the end of the day, man, the Eagles could not stop the Chiefs in the second half, more so than the Chiefs couldn't stop the Eagles in the first half. Anyway, Dre, what is your take on that Super Bowl?
First of all, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. You always got to pay respect to the champion. But you were right. You were right. I was wrong. Hey, you got to take your wins and you take your L's. Same way, man. Uh, I just expected better from the Eagles defense a little bit. Not only, being having personal relationship with my brother being one of the coaches, but just in general, their front seven, their D line was terrible. Like not one sack on Mahomes, barely any pressure. Like he could do what he wanted to do, and frankly, I think we can say the game did come down to that call at the end, that holding on James Bradbury, but at the same time, like their defense was out coached, their defense was out as athletic ability, everything, scheme, everything. Like Eagles definitely, it's interesting to see because now you hire the Eagles defensive coordinator gets hired to Arizona, and I thought that was kind of funny because it's like he just got shit on in the Super Bowl and he gets a job the next day. But congratulations. My first take on it is just like I think the Chiefs can do this for honestly, like another 3 or 4 times. Like I think this type of team has a better ceiling than any of those Patriots teams because I believe that, not saying Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady yet, but the competitive nature, he does have better physical tools than Tom Brady ever had. Like he's got a better
But,
arm power, he's
but
got better gamesmanship and
right.
charisma.
But Brady has done some of the most clutch things in the history of the NFL. Mahomes has done clutch things, but I think Brady, it's way too early to start to
I
even put
mean,
that in the
I'm
same.
not, I'm not, like I said, I'm not comparing him like that, but bro, you have to
The
respect
ceiling.
Mahomes. Yes, the
The
ceiling
ceiling.
to be on that level, you have to respect it. The dude
Yeah.
played on a pretty much a broken ankle, like a high
Yeah.
ankle sprain is pretty much broken,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah. Yeah.
carved up the Eagles defense. Like
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey, could he go down as the best tight end ever? Who knows? But I think so. Like
Yeah. I think that what we are witnessing greatness. You know what I mean? It's just like LeBron, you know what I mean, Dre? We saw LeBron do it his thing. Could we say Patrick Mahomes could be the next LeBron James of the NFL?
I for sure think so. I think
Wow.
he's that great.
So he'd be the
I
face.
think he can. He's definitely the face of the NFL right now. Like who
Yeah.
is over Patrick Mahomes right now as the face of the NFL? Like what the
Yeah.
benchmark is? Who's
Brady's
really
out. Mahomes
who's
is
really
in.
the benchmark of coaches outside of Bill Belichick next to Andy Reid? Like honestly, like the
Mm.
blueprint is through the Chiefs. We're learning like what I said with other friends is like the Chiefs offense is like showing you like now the NFL is all about offense. Defense doesn't matter really.
Yeah.
As much as we would love it to, if you have a great offense and a great offensive minded coach with a great scheme, and then you have the players that fit the mold of that, it's over with. You don't need nothing else. You need a defense that needs to get critical plays done at at necessary moments. And then the Chiefs defense did play better than I thought too. Credit to Frank Clark and Chris Jones and Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton is underrated, man. That dude played his
Hey,
ass off.
I did bring him up in that episode. He should have. He should.
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have scooped and scored that second
That second
touchdown,
one, I think he would have got the MVP. He would have got
wouldn't it?
he
Wow.
would have got the Super Bowl MVP if he would have got that
Yeah,
second touchdown.
that would have been sweet. All right, so all that praise for the Chiefs. That's great. Let's move on. Let's talk about how do you beat the Chiefs now? Because because now we see we just talked about everything, why they're so good. How is the NFL going to adapt to beat the Chiefs? It's got to be defenses, right? Like maybe you bring back those hard-nosed defenses that, you know, we haven't seen in a lot of years. Like maybe a great defense is going to be what we see moving forward. Are we going to start to see guys drafting higher defensive players, making their teams based on defense?
I think there's a lot of routes you can go, a lot of ways you can go about it. I think one thing is I'm waiting for the college football to continue to amplify that rover position like Isaiah Simmons was, and there was another guy that came earlier that played for the Cardinals as well. Can't think of his name, from Washington State some years back, but I think that position needs to get developed more. These tight ends are becoming receivers now, and you have Travis Kelce, you have George Kittle, you have Waller from the Raiders, you name it. Who else?
The guy went to the Vikings, Hawkinson.
I'm whoever you. I got a lot of
coming out of Notre Dame in the draft this year.
Yes, him. You got so many dudes now that it's like Kyle Pitts. You got so many dangerously athletic weapons at tight end. You have to be able to stop that, because what Travis Kelce is showing you, there's no benchmark for how great the tight end can be in the receiving game. Secondly, how to stop the Chiefs? I think the Washington Commanders did it. They took away one of the best weapons, and that wasn't even somebody that plays for the Chiefs. Took away Eric Bieniemy. Shout out to Eric Bieniemy, finally getting a different position. Although it wasn't a head coaching job, and that's another conversation for another time, that we can talk about why African-American coaches aren't getting the same opportunity as these other guys are. It's crazy to me, like I said.
Yeah, it's hard to actually
both Eagles coordinators got a job before
I don't get
Eric Bieniemy got a job.
It doesn't make any sense. It's hard to move, just like say we'll talk about it another time. I think real quick we should talk about it. Why didn't he get a head coaching job? Why did he take that job? Why did he, the only reason I can see him taking that job is more money, and he wasn't getting head coaching job offers, but he's been doing all this crazy, accomplishments with, the Chiefs. So what is up with that, man? That is messed up.
I think it was a power move. I read in the clause of the contract from via Adam Schefter's Twitter that he also has like associate head coach title to him. So him and Ron Rivera sharing those duties. I'm thinking basically Ron Rivera's like, here, you have the keys to the offense. I don't touch it. Just let me know, anything major needs to go down. But it's Eric Bieniemy's offense, and I think that's good for Washington. They got a lot of great weapons. I like Terry McLaurin over there.
I like Dotson.
Like Jahan Dotson over there. I like the running back Brian Robinson from Alabama. Now they got to find a quarterback for sure. Who are they going to bring back? Because they seem not to like Hawkinson, and I mean not Hawkinson, Heineke. But I don't know what they want to do. But
they might be able to grab, Bryce Young or Levis
or Will Levis for sure. But I think back to Eric Bieniemy, it's also something like LaShawn McCoy said on I Am Athlete about Bieniemy has a weird love-hate relationship as a player coach with a lot of his players. And it's weird. And I think that character issue kind of rubs the wrong way with a lot of owners. There was a lot of reports like he's kind of a very aggressive coach in the scheme of like not being diplomatic and very dictator as far as his coaching style, like it's his way. He is aggressively telling guys, hey, I'm not going to stand for certain bullshit. So I can see that playing a mold, but this long, I feel like this guy has been waiting to get a NFL head coaching job for 5 years. He has 2 Super Bowl rings now.
How soft are we going to get in the NFL? I mean, I think that we've had coaches like that, but you're right. It's becoming more like these younger, more, player coaches, you know what I mean? And now like the old coaches who are a little bit more stricter and, have like implement discipline more are, kind of getting ran out of the building, or they're just not as well liked. Instead, now the more well-liked guys are the players coaches and stuff like that. I mean, gosh, like all these, the Vikings coach, the Philly coach, the Niners, the Miami coach, all these like players coaches, guys, McVay, like kind of guys that, players got to like have a friendship or a bond with. But, I mean, I don't know. It just seems very soft to me, and everybody should actually be worried more about their paycheck rather than their friends.
No, I totally agree. I just think it's going to be interesting to see what he does in Washington. But like I said, to go back to the question, it'll be interesting to see now. Yeah, that's one of the bigger weapons, because what I mean, let's see. I know Andy Reid is a great coach, but Bieniemy played a lot of parts into how successful that offense was and has been, and how great it is.
Yeah,
So
for
it's going to
sure.
be interesting to see. I think they will take. Like I said last year, I thought the Chiefs weren't going to be good, and I thought they were going to be fourth in that division, tied third, fourth. But I'm not going to never count them out no more. I know not to disrespect the Kansas City Chiefs, but I definitely do see them taking a decline because Eric Bieniemy's going. So that not having him in the room, having the spirit around, that's going to change that offense regardless. They'll still have Travis Kelce. They'll still have Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes' cap hit is guaranteed for the next 6-7 years. So when we're talking about the numbers of things, and now they can restructure, and they're kind of showing teams the blueprint of how to sign your big franchise quarterback to a big deal and restructure everybody's contracts around it. So they're doing a good job. When before, even last year, me and you spoke about it, I remember how were the Chiefs going to handle being successful with giving Patrick Mahomes over a fucking $500 million? You know, like
But now
how
it's
are they
making
gonna? How are they gonna?
sense.
But now they're
Yeah.
showing the other general managers and the other owners that it works. So
Yeah.
people are gonna take that blueprint. But it's interesting to see what they're gonna be like without Eric Bieniemy. You
Who
got players turning another year older.
who's the next guy that would get a contract like that? Young guy
As far as coach, as far as
they,
quarterback,
no quarterback. Yeah, that's maybe Trevor Lawrence. Like,
I thought it was gonna be Lamar, but now from what I'm hearing, Jalen Hurts is gonna be the next one up. Like from what I've been hearing lately, Jalen Hurts is the next one up because the Ravens kind of shit themselves. Like all due respect, like they waited too long to sign Lamar,
yeah,
and now they're gonna be at a kind of a market value that they did not want to set because they waited that whole year to play around. So now
yeah.
they're gonna either do this. They're gonna have to franchise tag Lamar to maybe the biggest franchise tag we ever seen, probably like a deal for 1 year for 45, $50 million, or they're gonna have to let him walk. Because if they're not gonna try to sign him, he's gonna want
You
guaranteed
let
over
you
$100 million.
man. Is okay. If you're the Ravens, what are the chances that you think they let him walk? Give me a percentage wise.
Right now, I think it's strong. Have you not seen the reports of
I
Lamar
have.
talking about Atlanta and all of that, like going to
Mhm.
be the second Michael Vick and
Yeah,
all of that? Like, I think it's a real
you've gone to the
50-50 right now.
wow.
Like,
Yeah, it's
and I think it's
50-50.
because of
Okay.
the energy they created. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's the
No, no, no.
energy that the
Yeah, you're
Ravens
right.
created.
Yeah. No, it's weird because 50-50, man. I can't imagine letting a guy like Lamar walk. I would never do it if I was, if I had that kind of control. But it says a lot about their franchise and the direction that they want to go in. They've always been, defensive minded. They've always been run the ball minded. I mean, if you let Lamar go, I feel like you're cleaning. I don't know if you're cleaning. You are cleaning house in the sense that the main furniture isn't there anymore. I mean, it's like there's nobody that can compare to Lamar Jackson as his skill
No,
set, what he can do, how you can build a playbook around him. So you got to throw the playbook out the window, and now you have to do these things. So man, I just Baltimore. It's too bad that they let it get that far, but I would like to see Lamar in Atlanta if that's where he had to change it up. I mean, and if they draft Bijan Robinson and they got Kyle Pitts and Drake London, it's nothing but Super Bowl expectations for that type of offense.
Now you give Lamar Jackson another. I mean, we can argue that Kyle Pitts is just as good or better than talent wise than Mark Andrews. Then you get him with Drake London, a bigger receiver. Then they probably have to draft another second receiver next to Drake London, but then you get Bijan Robinson in the backfield with Lamar. Atlanta looking looking pretty good there, and I
Yeah.
think that would be a perfect fit because just the whole storyline of Lamar Jackson as the second Michael Vick. So it's like
Mm.
in Atlanta, that would be crazy for the culture, crazy for sports, everything. And so I think that's a possibility. But I think Jalen Hurts is the next one in line. After I think what Jalen Hurts did not only this season but in his playoffs and in this Super Bowl is solidify himself as a top five quarterback, elite quarterback in this
Top
league
five.
who can win.
Let's hear your
Oh,
top
for
five.
sure.
Let's hear your top five.
I go Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Uh, I'm missing who are we missing right now?
You got Herbert. You
I would.
got
I'm thinking. Um, let's go NFC North. Oh, see, I'm not really throwing Aaron Rodgers in there because it's like he's so old, and it's like it really doesn't matter at this point
No,
because
you have to throw. Come on, bro. You got if Rodgers is on.
no,
He's good. You're
I
picking your top 5. Come on. You can leave him out. I'm not going to tell you you have to put him in. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying I wouldn't put Rodgers in there because wherever he goes next, if he leaves Green Bay, I can't see him winning unless it's like an elite team, like a real. He can't go to the New York Jets and they
So
win
you
the
can't
Super
even.
Bowl.
So you're
Like
putting. Okay, but
he can't go to the Raiders and
you
they
have
win
2
the Super
spots
Bowl.
left. You have 2 spots left. So you're going.
I would argue. Okay, I would argue. Okay, if we're gonna do that, I would argue. You got to let me hold up. Let me pull my phone up.
No,
Bro.
I'm
Give
yeah.
me
Okay,
like.
you got Herbert.
Give me.
You got. I
So
mean,
I
your
can think
list
of
is
like what the
crazy.
teams are.
I mean, you're really discussing about Justin Herbert. You're either leaving Justin Herbert out, Lamar Jackson out, or Kyler Murray out, or Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? Those are the guys.
That's
Or
not in the
Matt
top
Stafford.
5.
That's fine.
Matt Stafford's not in the top 5.
Tom Brady's retired. He's out.
Tom Brady's retired.
So yeah, I mean, I like your top 3, and then I'd like to go Hurts, and then I'm probably going Rodgers. Or
I would go,
but I'm leaving out Lamar, and I'm leaving out Dak, and I'm leaving out Russell, and I'm leaving.
I'm leaving Rodgers out, and I'm gonna go. All right, I'll go this. I'll go my top 10, and I'll go again. Pat Mahomes 1, Joe Burrow 2.
Okay, let me just say
Josh.
something. I'm going Rodgers 2, and then Burrow 3, and then I'm going Allen 4.
Pat Mahomes 1, Joe Burrow 2, Allen 3, Rodgers 4. Tied with 4th right there would be Herbert. Then Jalen.
This ain't no tie. This
ain't
no.
Okay,
Jalen
Hurts is right there. Jalen Hurts is right
there. You get some candy. No, bro. There ain't no ties.
Right, you see, you're trying to do this bullshit. All right, then let me just do my 10. Let me say my 10 then.
This ain't no friendship.
All right. Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. I'm putting Jalen Hurts right there. He's a little bit better to me because what he can do in the ground game rather than Justin Herbert. And I think he protects the ball a little bit better than Justin Herbert to me. And I like Jalen Hurts before Herbert. So that's my top 5.
Herbert's
then I'll go
5th. I'm for sure taking Herbert out and throwing Rodgers in there, but okay.
I put Rodgers right there at 6. Then I'll put you ain't gonna like this one. Well, I'll put Lamar Jackson at 7. Then I'll put Deshaun Watson at 8. Then I'll put I gotta respect this dude. I'll put that's perfect. I'll put Kirk Cousins at 9 and Geno Smith at 10.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Those last 2 are horrible. I'm going to throw Kyler Murray in there. Put some respect in the guy's name. They had a terrible year, but that's not Kyler Murray's fault. He's still way more.
We're talking about right now. We're talking about right now. Who's the best top 10 quarterback right now?
Okay, I don't care right now. Right now, if I'm picking these guys right now, I'm still taking Kyler Murray, and I'm going to take Russell, my man, Mr. Unlimited Wilson.
Russell Wilson over who?
Over Dak Prescott, over Matt Stafford, over
I never named
Kirk Cousins.
I wouldn't take Russell over. Right now, I would not take Russell over Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna put a little bit of respect on Kirk Cousins' name. Was not his. Give Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Give Kirk Cousins.
4th and 10 throws a little 5-yard out to the 10.
I mean, you're not going to do this because I'm not a super big Kirk Cousins fan, but give Kirk Cousins the same respect and to give him the O-line of a fucking Philadelphia or fucking 49ers and watch what he would do.
Okay, give me the O-line of the 49ers and I'm throwing for at least 1,000
yards. 5'1".
I'm
not even
tall. At least 1,000 yards.
Doug Flutie is taller than you. What are you gonna do throwing the ball behind a fucking 6'8" offensive lineman?
I'm scrambling.
Throw it at their fucking shoulder pads.
I'm rolling out of the pocket and I'm throwing it at least 5 yards farther than Kirk Cousins on 4th and 10 and with the season on the line. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, so that's his fault that he threw a short pass on 4th and 10. Come on.
Yeah, and I'm like 5'8", so you can you know what I mean. You can chill out on that. All right. You're like 5'9".
No Danny Jones in the top 10.
No. No. And I don't even care if the Giants get rid of him. Like, I mean, giving him $30 million is a little too much for my taste, just being real.
I thought Dayball was your boy.
He is my big ball day ball. Yeah, he is my boy. But Daniel Jones ain't. Daniel Jones still isn't there yet. I mean, if he had these great Daniel Jones moments that made me feel like, yeah, give that guy some money, I'd feel differently. But Daniel Jones ain't, you know what I mean? He ain't there yet. And one guy we didn't even talk about top 10 or whatever, he's probably not there yet. But Trevor Lawrence made some big leaps this year, and now next year we're gonna see him with Calvin Ridley.
I did forget about him.
And I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna be
Trevor Lawrence is top 10. He's
year,
for sure top 10.
Yeah, next year I think he might, we'll be talking about Trevor Lawrence top 5, top 6. You know what I mean? Getting him closer in there because he's gonna have Ridley. He's gonna be in his 3rd year.
I'm telling you,
real good.
I don't like to say it, but because it's in my division. But now you give Deshaun Watson a full year after all the bullshit he's been through.
He'll be
he'll be top 5, top 7 for sure.
Right, because before he was arguably top 5,
he's arguably top 3.
Top 3. So now, yeah, that's gonna happen. So quarterback league, I mean, when you talk about that many guys on the fence, I really think Mac Jones is on the fence with the Patriots. I think things are a little bit, I don't know. They might even draft a quarterback this year. Would you be surprised?
I would be surprised if they draft a quarterback because Bailey Zappi played pretty good when he did play. But I don't think that Bill Belichick is going to be coaching that much longer anyway. So, like, it doesn't really matter. I think the identity of the Patriots are going to go in a different direction within the next 3 or 4 years. And I just think that it wouldn't to throw the whole case out on Mac Jones right now would kind of not be good in a way because I feel like for their style play, who are they going to go draft? They tried the Cam Newton thing with a dual threat quarterback. That's not really them. There's no McDaniel there coaching. You have fucking the fat dude that coached for him before, that coached for the Lions head coach, now back. He was a defensive coordinator. Now he's an offensive coordinator, and you're going to try to bring in a dual threat running type of style quarterback. I don't think that works. So I think you just need to you gotta ride with Mac Jones for another, at least throughout his rookie contract, another 2 years maybe.
You got to ride out with Mac Jones, man. So you would ride with Mac Jones if you were running that team. I think that I would keep my eyes peeled, and there's probably going to be guys. I think
this is not a real deep quarterback class in the draft.
No, but I keep my eyes on the free agency, and then a name I want to talk about is Jared Goff. Do we know Jared Goff's ceiling? Did he get better this year? He's been in the league for a while, but like he was pretty good this year. You have a team that is ascending, is getting better, but they're young. What do you do with Jared Goff?
No, the Lions re-sign him. Goff is worth some money. I think let's not forget he was a first pick overall in the draft some years ago. Like, dude has some talent. He showed that he needed to go somewhere where he was respected and kind of not treated like a fucking baby. And McVay doing everything for him, where he's more in a situation. Dan Campbell, to me, should be getting the fucking coach of the year kind of honors in a way. Like what he's overall in the last 3 years, what he's done with the Lions team completely. But Jared Goff found his home. Like, no, if I'm the Lions, I'm re-signing him to a 3-year, 4-year deal, upwards of like, because the market is set anyway, so he's gonna get a market value not only because he was a first round pick and a first pick overall, but he's been playing good. They were a winning team this year, and on top of that, I think it's your quarterback. So I see him getting a deal 3-4 years.
So you ride it out. You ride it out with Jared Goff.
Easily over 100, 125, 150 million for like 4 years, and you write it out and you see where it's at. But I think Jared Goff proved himself that he's worthy of another contract. If not, you talk about trade bait and working your way up to get one of them top 5 quarterbacks. Because like I said, this is not a deep class. And then why would you go to free agency and go get another quarterback when you already have a good quarterback? Like that doesn't even make sense.
It is, because like after you get out of those top 10 guys, pretty much everybody else is like, it's very close. And it's not like, because those top 10 guys make plays on their own. They make plays, on the ball, like, spring of the moment. They make good decisions. but everybody else out of that top 10, they start to kind of be the same. And they're, you know what I mean? One guy, I mean, actually is interesting is Tua, because Tua is probably, you know, getting close to that
And
top
that's who
10.
I was thinking about.
No, yeah, we still need we still don't know about Tua yet. And it's too bad about the injuries, because we probably would have found out this year.
You're not gonna talk. You're not gonna hear me talk this much going into this new year about Miami Dolphins. I was on the Dolphins train, and I feel like they showed peaks.
The defense was terrible.
Defense was terrible. They got Vic Fangio as their coordinator now, which would be better. I like Vic Fangio's scheme of things, but I don't. I'm not bought into Tua like that anymore. I'm not saying he's a terrible guy, like a terrible player, but I don't see it just because of his health. He's been through some fucking shit. You know when you fucking been through some shit, like when when you take like a shit and it's like, fuck, I can't even like stand the smell of my own shit. Like
you just want to leave. You just want to get out of the prep. You don't just want to run away. You just want to run away. Pack your bags.
So that's what I'm saying. It's one of those situations.
He's probably. You think he's debating in his head right now if I want to even play?
I think that I know he wants to play, but maybe give him one last chance on a new team.
Wow.
Like, give him one last chance.
I wouldn't. I think that I like the coach there, and I think that they had good chemistry when he was. I would keep him. I would honestly, though, when you start to have these injuries, and you saw, you know, what happened with the Bills this year with DeMar, like, I think that you do start to question, is this really worth it? And the NFL should actually be like, if you don't want to play football, we still have a job for you on the team. You can work, you know, somewhere, someplace. We're a $1 billion franchise. Like, we should be able to create a job for somebody who risked their life to play the game and be there. So, I mean, I think that, you know, if I'm Tua, it's tough, but I still want to see what's going on. And like, if he is like a top 10 quarterback in the league, we'll find out if he continues to play and and whatnot.
I mean, he's got the Bama boys backing him up coming up. You know, Bryce Young. You know, Jalen Hurts. So we'll see. But yeah, man. Before we get out of here, man, I want to share. You know, shout out to the King James. You know, a little quick. I know we're gonna maybe have another.
We only got a minute
soon. But yeah, shout out to King James. We didn't share anything basketball related yet, but he broke Kareem's record. Outstanding, man. I thought that record would never be broken. And honestly,
I'm be honest,
the only other person I think that would break that would be Steph Curry now.
I'll be honest, though. I thought that stopping the game, taking a photo, and then they end up losing to OKC that game, I thought that was all too much. Like, even I think that, you know, the game, I think that, you know, you saw Anthony Davis's, you know, the way that he was reacting, sitting down, watching the celebration. It's like, we're still playing a game. You know, let's do this after the game. And it would, even if they lost, you can have the ceremony, you can talk about it, you can have a little speech. I thought it was a lot going on. I thought that, you know, LeBron should have chilled out on all that. But congrats to you on the scoring record. It will probably be broken in 20 years with the way that the scoring system works and at the way the game is evolving. I think that's great, but I mean, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Anyway.
Okay, real quick. Lakers make the playoffs or not? Hurry up.
Yeah, they make the playoffs, and I'm just kidding. LeBron is one of the GOATs. They're both the
Lakers
GOAT.
make the playoffs in my eyes.
Yeah, the Lakers make the playoffs.
Lakers make the